What if what you're feeling right now isn't an illusion, but a direct confirmation from Allah? You may think your heart is exaggerating, that you're making things up, that it's just your imagination. But what if this sudden emptiness, these recurring dreams, this person who keeps coming back for no reason, were actually signs aligned by your Creator? There are times when Allah speaks without words, without spectacular visions. He speaks to your soul. And today, this message may be the answer you've been waiting for, but haven't dared to admit it. If you've ever felt like someone was meant for you, if your heart senses that change is near, stay until the end, because what you're about to hear here could transform the way you understand what God is doing in your love life. 1. The whisper of destiny. When your heart bends without explanation. There comes a time in life when your heart takes a direction without consulting reason. It's not a decision, it's not an impulse. It's a gentle, almost imperceptible shift, an inner movement, as if your soul recognizes something even before your eyes understand. You meet this person. There's been no deep exchange, no sweet words, no look heavy with promise. And yet, your heart reacts. It doesn't speed up. It slows down. It doesn't stir. It rests. It doesn't burn. It calms down. And in that silence, something happens. Something you can't name, but you feel so strongly that you can't pretend. It's not a passion. It's not an immediate desire. It's not a serial crush or a passing attraction. It's an inclination that doesn't seek to possess, but simply to exist. A presence that doesn't invade, but gently fills the empty space in your heart. And in this inner calm, you begin to do something you didn't do before. You make dua. You haven't received anything, but you ask. You don't really know this person, but you include them in your nightly conversations with Allah. You don't ask questions of people. You ask questions of your Lord. Because this time, your instinct doesn't speak louder than your faith. Many miss this form of divine guidance because it doesn't resemble what they imagined. They wait for a flamboyant dream, a grandiose declaration, or a visible miracle. But Allah loves discreet signs. He loves to speak to the heart without crushing it. He loves to attract your attention without disturbing you. It leaves you feeling an unusual peace, an attraction that seeks not to consume, but to elevate. This serenity is not a coincidence. It is a divine tool. Perhaps it is your ishara, your sacred clue. When the tumult of feelings disappears, when confusion recedes, and you are left with a sweetness you cannot explain, it is because something other than yourself is manifesting. Perhaps your soul is recognizing what Allah has already written, and this recognition comes not through words, but through a silent harmony. It comes not through proof, but through a mysterious familiarity, as if your heart knew something your tongue did not yet dare to utter. Perhaps this person has not yet offered you anything, and yet you feel fulfilled, not by them, but by the idea that there is a plan behind this tranquility, and therein lies the secret. Allah does not make your heart beat randomly. He prepares it, He guides it, He refines it. This is not a story. Perhaps it is your beginning. The silent beginning of a destiny taking shape, invisibly, with the gentleness of a divine whisper. 2. Allah's synchronicities. When everything seems to converge effortlessly, there are times when everything seems to align without you having orchestrated anything. You haven't changed your habits, you haven't tried to force anything. And yet, around you, the scenery is subtly shifting. The topics of conversation are turning toward marriage. The reminders, the videos, even the posts you're not used to seeing, revolve around couples, complementarity, and marital serenity. It's not just an algorithm, it's divine intention. In your daily life, words you previously heard without attention suddenly take on a deeper meaning. Someone talks about the husband's role as protector and guide. Another mentions the pious wife as the light of the home. And in these simple moments, your heart is illuminated. You don't understand why you're so touched by these words today, but in reality, your heart is being prepared. And then come the dreams. Those dreams where you don't necessarily see a face, but where you feel an intense peace. Those dreams where the theme of marriage comes up again and again. Sometimes the person is there. Other times, they're not. But the atmosphere is the same: calm, stability, certainty. These aren't fantasies. They are threads woven by the one who knows your soul better than you know yourself. Then you notice another phenomenon. You run into this person, again, and again, and again, without an appointment, without planning, in places you wouldn't have even thought you'd see them. A mosque, an event, a bookstore, an unexpected place. Each time, your heart lifts, but not with agitation, with gratitude. Because it's not just the person, it's what their presence triggers in you. Not a fire, an elevation. You feel the need to draw closer to Allah. You want to become better, purer, more connected to your life's purpose. This is not an empty attraction. It's a silent call to elevate yourself. And this is not a coincidence. This is tadbir, an invisible orchestration, a divine organization where every detail is carefully adjusted. Chance does not govern the believer. What happens to you, even in the smallest things, bears Allah's signature. And when He decides to send confirmation into your life, He doesn't make it scream. He makes it resonate. It's a harmony. Events repeat themselves but without redundancy. Signs follow one another but without insistence. It's your responsibility to be attentive. Allah aligns without ever forcing. He attracts your gaze but does not impose it. He shows you the way, but doesn't push you. He plants the clues and waits for your heart to perceive them. And you know what changes everything? It's when, instead of looking for a spectacular answer, you marvel at the subtlety. When you understand that the lack of effort on your part and the abundance of clarity in what you experience can only come from a master who acts with mercy. You control nothing, but everything begins to make sense. That's when you feel it's not magic. It's organized mercy. 3. The purifying trials. Before the gift, the refinement. It's easy to believe that because you sincerely make dua, the doors should immediately open. That pure and blessed love should spring forth without resistance. That your marital kingdom should arrive on a carpet of light. But the spiritual reality is different, much more subtle, much more demanding. Before the gift, there is refinement. Before the promise, there is the trial. Have you noticed? Since you've been praying for marriage, for a union that elevates your din, things seem to have become harder. Loneliness has grown heavier, buried wounds resurface, and sometimes even doubts assail you more than before. This is no accident. It is not an unjustified delay. It is a divine process. Allah does not offer blessings in bulk. He shapes the soul before placing His gifts within it. Your heart is precious, but it is also burdened, laden with past pain, broken human promises, anger you haven't completely let go of, silent fears you've never dared to name. And you want this already cluttered space to welcome the pure love that Allah wants to send you. That's not possible. The Creator is wise. Before placing within it what your soul awaits, He purifies the container. Your current ordeal is not a punishment. It's a sacred waiting room. And in this waiting room, there is no watch, no visible deadline, only faith and trust. Do you feel this emptiness? This sensation that everything familiar is slowly leaving you? It's not abandonment. It's a divine operation. Allah is freeing your inner space, making room for what is truly meant to fulfill you. True love, lawful and purified love, cannot tolerate coexistence with grudges, unrealistic expectations, or hidden wounds. It requires a cleared ground, ready to receive. And the more you wait with faith, the more you grow. Every tear you shed in solitude is not wasted. Every prayer in which you confess your fatigue is heard. Every night you go to bed with a heavy heart, but a tongue that still says, "Ya Allah, I trust you," is recorded in the heavens. Nothing is in vain. Everything refines you. Do not try to force the hand of destiny. Do not rush to fill this void with what was not written for you. If you feel this inner dryness, know that it is a transition. The emptiness is a testament that your heart is being prepared. Allah will not send you a perfect person, but a destined one. And between two destined souls, it is not perfection that is sought, but complementarity, mercy, and peace. So hold on. Hold on in the dark night. Hold on when impatience would lead you astray. Hold on when everything within you cries out for immediate consolation. For what you await is not small. What you await is great in the eyes of Allah. And what is great requires preparation that is equally great. You are not forgotten. You are not punished. You are in the receiving phase. 4. The language of silence. Allah speaks to you when you stop searching everywhere. There is a subtle wisdom that many forget in their quest. Allah also speaks in silence. As long as you are restless, as long as your gaze darts from one face to another, from one profile to another, your heart remains cluttered with noise. And in this inner din, the sweet voice of divine confirmation is stifled. You think you are searching for your marital kingdom, but in reality, you are drifting in seas of doubts that you yourself harbor. The day you stop running, something miraculous begins to be born within you. Calm. It is not an empty or resigned calm. It is a calm inhabited by the presence of Allah. It is in this calm that the most powerful confirmations arise, not in the form of spectacular flashes, but like a soft light that illuminates what you already knew, without having yet accepted it. Allah does not shout His answers. He whispers them to your heart. But to hear a whisper, everything within you must first be silent. Stop comparing your situation to that of others. Stop analyzing the slightest gestures of the one you believe to be your future husband or wife. Stop scrutinizing outward signs as if Allah's destiny depended on your investigative skills. What is written for you is on its way. Nothing will accelerate it. Nothing will move it away. Perhaps even you have already seen your marital kingdom. Perhaps even your heart has already recognized it. But your mind, cluttered with expectations, doubts, and calculations, failed to hear what your soul was trying to whisper to you. That is why this reminder comes to you today. Stop, listen, look. Not with the eyes of greed, not with the ears of comparison, but with the light of your purified heart. Allah wants you to be ready, not to love based on your shortcomings, but to love based on Him. Not to fill an emotional void, not to flee temporary loneliness, not to heal old wounds, but to honor a union built on His satisfaction, on His barakah. Your marital kingdom is not a distant dream that you must grasp with the strength of your arm. It is a spiritual reality already moving towards you, and sometimes the only thing preventing you from seeing it is your inner turmoil. Be silent, but active in your tawakkul. Be patient, but attentive in your heart. The noise of the world wants to distance you from what your soul already knows. But the silence brings you back. Listen, look. Your divine writing approaches silently. 5. The moment everything changes, when Allah unites what was written, there is a moment that words cannot describe, A moment when your heart no longer beats but calms, when your mind no longer spins but settles. This moment isn't spectacular, it is silently obvious. It is the moment when Allah decides to unite what He has written, and you will know. Not because someone tells you, not because a magical message appears on your screen, but because everything within you aligns. Doubt will fade, agitation will calm, the need to confirm, to question, to compare will vanish. For when Allah unites two souls, He begins by calming them. He removes the gray areas. He illuminates what was unclear. He makes what seemed complicated surprisingly fluid. The person no longer comes with ambiguous intentions. She doesn't play with your mind, doesn't confuse your heart. She draws closer, with respect, with clarity, with a peace that makes no noise but resonates deeply. She doesn't seduce you with words, she honors you with actions. And above all, she doesn't disturb your connection with Allah. She brings you closer to Him. For the union written by Allah never steals your heart from the Creator. It reconnects it. When that moment comes, it's no longer a quest. It's no longer a race. It's a welcome. And yet, in this welcome, there is a kind of vertigo. Because you realize you didn't have to force anything. You didn't have to beg to be loved. You didn't have to lose your dignity to be chosen. You only had to hold on, to trust, to let Allah write while you prepared yourself. And now, here you are, faced with blessed truth, a person who doesn't claim to be perfect, but who is aligned, a person who doesn't heal all your wounds, but who walks with you towards the one who can, a person who doesn't complete you, but who completes your mission. And there, in that discreet shift, you hear that long-awaited answer. Yes, it's him, it's her, it's now. Don't let your past sabotage your present. Don't let your old pain steal your nascent peace. Don't look for flaws to escape what your heart recognizes. Say Bismillah and move on. This isn't the beginning of a dream. This may be the beginning of your greatest peace. Allah never leaves you confused for no reason. If you feel something in your heart, if everything seems to be pointing in a particular direction, it may not be a coincidence. It may be your confirmation. This message is here to help you open your eyes, not to create false hope. If something spoke to you today, don't let that moment fade away. Take the time to meditate, to pray, and above all, share this video with someone you care about. Like, comment. Tell us what you feel inside. These signs are often personal, but your testimony can also confirm what someone else has been waiting in silence. Your marital kingdom may be closer than you think, and Allah is guiding you there.